Ladies and gents, welcome back to Floyd Speed Shop. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to check out what we've got going on. It is the second episode of the channel, but it's the first episode where we get to actually wrench on a car, and I can't be any more excited than I am right now. Hey, our twin turbo 4th gen Camaro finally gets to go up in the air. We're going to pull the old LS1 out, pull the old T56 out, roll it out, and start assembling the monster that it's going to turn into. Couple things I wanted to touch on. The first thing is I was going back and forth on a couple things, but the first being this LS1. Part of me wanted to keep it in the car for you guys and throw some boost in it and torture test the entire drivetrain to see what would happen. But look, that's not extremely realistic. A lot of people that have these cars that will boost them, a lot of times will put a 5.3, 4.8, or a 6-liter truck motor in them that'll hold more power. So really quick, just so my viewers can get an idea for what I was going after, is especially with this engine, I'm able to sell the LS1 and take that money and build an aluminum 5.3 with Gen 4 pistons and rods. It paid for all the machining and the assembly of the short block and the rebuilding of the heads. I had to buy the head separate, so you're still going to be out a few $100, but the end result is you will have an engine that'll make tons of power, or it'll hold tons of boost. But that kind of goes into my next question, and I don't know if I shot myself in the foot, you guys, and I appreciate it if you guys can drop a comment and let me know what you think. We're keeping the factory T56 in this car. I could have sold it and bought a T56 Magnum. I could have sent it off to get it rebuilt. But in reality, I wanted to create a video that is as relatable as possible. And frankly, I don't have the money to just go buy a T56 after I've been acquiring these parts for the better part of a year. So I decided we're going to do a little torture test on the T56. But I keep going back and forth. Are we making more work for ourselves? I don't know. Is the transmission going to live? I don't know. You guys that are watching, there might be a good bulk of you guys that may have the answers. So leave a comment. Let me know, are we going to be pulling this T56 out shortly after we tune this car? I'm dying to know, guys. Did I shoot myself in the foot? Anyways, hey, let's get this car in the air. Let's start wrenching on it. Let's get it rolling. All right, stay tuned. Hey guys, a couple things that I want to address here or talk about. Pulled out the old GoPro for this. Look, the key to tearing these engines out through the bottom is you have to disconnect everything up top. And it looks daunting, but it's super easy and super straightforward. Obviously, take off the air cleaner. Unhook the harness from the ECU down here. One thing you want to keep in mind is in this harness right here, it goes all the way down into the firewall. So you want to take your ECU out completely so you can access it. There'll be a couple clips in there retaining it, and you have to go inside of the car. Let me show you guys where this is at. You'll have to remove, here's the kick panel. You have to remove the 4 fasteners, 4 screws that are right here. Oh, you're not gonna see that. And there is a blue and a white pigtail. The blue and white pigtail right there is what you unplug, and it leads to this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out real quick. Show you guys what we're looking at. So the firewall grommet pops right out easily. Look at this. Boom. Let me keep. You wanna jiggle it out of there. Give it a little jiggle, a little tug, a little twist. Boom. There she is. You're off to the races. All right. So basically, at this point, I'm gonna put the harness on top of the engine. If you leave this, your throttle cable disconnected, put everything on top of the engine. I believe, don't roast me if I'm wrong, I believe it's these 2 brake lines you disconnect from the ABS solenoid. and just disconnect the AC line. Really just use common sense. Whatever's connected from the engine to the chassis or the engine to the radiator, you just disconnect it. After that, the car goes up, and then you start disconnecting underneath the car. Very first thing you ever do is take the battery out. Other than that, guys, it's simple. It's simple, and anyone can do it. You can do this in a driveway. I've done it several times in a driveway. You can do it on a lift. It's way nicer. But either way, guys, I'm gonna get back to work here. I'm gonna disassemble everything up top. We're gonna jack the car up. I actually never been underneath the car, so I don't even know what to expect when I go under there, but I'll take you guys through it. We'll see what we're looking at. Again, I'm gonna keep disconnecting everything, listening to music, jamming out. Fuel line's gotta pop off. We're taking all of the emission stuff off. Having a little brain fart, but everything's coming off. I'll tune back in here in just a bit. Hey guys, let me add to that. So on this harness, I forgot as I was explaining it. It's your AC pigtail right here. But on this harness, this portion that pops off goes down to your starter. So before you put the whole harness on top of the engine, just know you'll have to get underneath it to unplug it. And actually, let's see what it looks like underneath. Yeah, so that harness that comes down off of the main engine harness comes down here. It plugs into your oil level sensor and your starter. That's right. But it just routes right up there. So you want to disconnect oil level sender, starter, and anything connected to that harness, and then you just send her on back up and put it all on top of the engine. All right, getting back to work now. All right, got to make sure you drain all the coolant. Then next is the oil. And I started to disconnect the steering shaft, and we're getting a gnarly leak. So I bet you the seal on the top of that is FUBAR, but we'll check it out. Let's get this thing out. How's it going, guys? I've got the cart underneath the car. So that means we're getting close to pulling this or dropping this engine and transmission out. I'll show you what I did up here real quick. I left the upper control arm intact, installed up there. I unbolted the strut from the lower control arm, and obviously the spindle off the upper control arm. Keep the sway bar connected to the lower control arm. Take the mounts off the chassis. Same thing over here, strut disconnected, spindle disconnected from the upper control arm. Back here, I'm gonna take the two rear bolts off the transmission cross member, loosen up the front ones a bit, and with this torque arm, I got the bracket loosened up. It's not gonna come off due to this bolt. It's just not a great design, but it should slide forward just fine. Or once it's lowered, I should be able to slide it forward. Aside from that, that's about it. I think that I'll be, I'm gonna bring the car back down. I've got to take some brake lines off. And once I pull those brake lines off the ABS solenoid, I think it's time to just unbolt everything and lower it and find out what we missed. So every time I've done it, there's usually one or two things, a ground wire or something that I didn't take off. But if you separate them slowly, you'll be able to see when something starts to create tension. Once you do that, lower it back down and then address it and then continue to move forward. But hey guys, we're getting close. Getting close. Let's keep rocking. Let's see what she does. So I got the cart set up. I put the K-member on some blocks just to give me some room to screw everything off, or to reach the bolts rather. And everything's unhooked I went through and made sure to the best of my ability. Let's see if we get some separation. Okay, let's make sure this side's separating. All right, downside with this is I'm not able to see the brake lines. They're routed. Okay, check this out. Wheel speed sensor. Boom. So little things like this. Every now and then go around, do a little walk around, see if there's anything else connected. I'm gonna have to pop that off. For some reason I thought that it would, yeah, it's kind of tight right there. I'm gonna pop that off. I'll get the right tool for it. Just gotta go around and keep checking. All right, so got those disconnected. I am gonna go up and check the brake lines before I go much further because I can tell it's kind of pulling a little bit right here, which is to be expected. But with your steering shaft, you're not gonna be able to get it off when it's in the car. So you gotta take the bolt out, and I put a little wedge in it so it pushes it out as the engine drops. But I'm gonna get up there and see how we're looking. I'm gonna have to get a ladder or something. We'll get some separation. All right, guys. I think the brake lines are good. What we're gonna go ahead and do is I am gonna just lift it until something screams at me and tells me not to. Let's see. We're going up. We're just gonna, oh. All right, well, we're still connected back here a little bit. Ah, yeah, we're connected on that freaking cross member that I didn't take off. I need to roll this cart forward probably. All right, so the one thing that's not super stoked right now is this brake line. I am gonna, oh, I think it's just hooked on up there. So we're making progress. I just gotta unhook this thing somehow. I don't know how it got. Dude, this is crazy. All right, hey, good rule of thumb. Just disconnect all of them. Let's see how we did. All right, guys. As you can see, we've got them separated. Screwed up one brake line. This guy right here, it did pop. The funny thing is, I had it disconnected the entire, that was the first one I disconnected. But it was hooked in a manner to where it totally separated, so it's fine. I got one hard line to replace. It'll be simple, a few bucks. Other than that, harness on top of the engine, Y pipe disconnected, trans cross member disconnected. Take the clutch cable off. Boom, there she is. Time to do some cleanup though. Now we get to clean up the engine bay before we put the new assembly together. There's a little bit of light rust where the battery tray is, so we'll clean that up some, but this will be going to a new home very soon. Well, there you have it, guys. We have the LS1 and T56 separated from the car. It took a little bit more time than it's taken in the past for me, but I think this time I wasn't in a rush. I took my time to make sure things were somewhat clean, but we did lose a brake line. I thought I had it disconnected. It ripped apart, and I apparently did have it disconnected, but it was just wedged somewhere. So anyways, that's not a big deal. We'll get another hard line, and we may want to put something nice on the tubular K-member anyway. So no harm, no foul. But guys, moving forward, I'm going to be building the 5.3 on a stand, getting everything moved over to it, oil pan, accessories, intake, whatnot. And then we're going to put that on the table with the tubular K-member underneath it and get everything bolted up, mate the transmission to it with the new McLeod twin disc clutch, and get it back in the car. But it's going to be a process. I'm not going to be able to create an episode every week on this car. So in the meantime, I need you guys to do me a favor, and I need you guys to drop a comment for what you'd like to see next. Whether it be an old C10 in a field that we're going to LS swap and turn into a little street truck, whether it be an older muscle car. Let's just keep it within a reasonable working man's budget. But guys, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I think we already hit 100 subscribers, or we're about to, and I want you guys to know, you first 100, you guys are the real OGs. It's so cool to see how much traction this channel's already getting just with clips I'm posting that I've had in my phone for years. But guys, thank you again for your time. I'm excited to get this thing on the road, and bear with me as we unfold, but I'm pretty dedicated to getting a video out per week for you guys to see something. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you guys have an awesome day wherever you are, and keep it real. I got to think of a cooler punchline than that.